Hey everybody. I went to the thrift store and I found two games, and they were President games. But the thing I have about President games is um they're always about trying to run and win election of the president, right? Uh, so I was just thinking, what if there was a game where, see, this is called Hail to the Chief. Hail to the Chief. It says it's a presidential election game with two exciting parts. Has convention and then the campaign, and there's 4 levels of play for the children. But anyway, what I was thinking is, how come all the president games are always racing to be president? We also got Oval Office. Do you have what it takes to become the most powerful person on earth? President of the United States. I don't really think we're the most powerful person on earth. I think the real power lies in Congress, Senate, the House. But anyway, back to my thought. My thought was, and is, I don't know if there is a game like this out there that exists or not. If there is, someone let me know. But I was thinking maybe there could be a semi-cooperative game where you played as the president or one of his joint chiefs of staff, cabinet members, those kind of things. And you had to play through scenarios, be some kind of maybe a board game, card game-ish type thing, where it'd be a worker placement maybe of sorts, um, something like that. And you played scenarios, and each player had his own like agenda, because you had the president, the vice president, speaker of the house, a Senate majority leader, minority leaders. You have people like that, and you would have to try to get good approval ratings from the press and the people, and you would try to do different scenarios that would be throughout history of real things that happened. For example, like the Bay of Pigs and an impeachment crisis, various different things like that, right? That actually happened, that's really happened in real life. A war, threatening the war, the Iran-Contra scandals, events, different things like that, right? That actually happened throughout history. So you would play like war on terrorists, catching a terrorist, domestic terrorism episodes like the Summer of Love recently, and maybe like Waco, Texas, for example, would be one. And you would play the president during these situations and scenarios that actually happen in real life, and see how well you would do compared to what happened in real life. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I have to come back at 1.
And
lunch.
There would be different things
so
that you could do.
Out to eat or somewhere around here. I can eat something, or I can go to the grocery store and get some bananas.
So it'd be semi-cooperative. Each player would be playing a role. They'd be playing like the president or one of his or her cabinet members, and the different members would have different powers and abilities and stuff. And you could play with favorable press, not so favorable press, favorable Senate, Congress, not so favorable Congress, Senate. So you could have easy mode where the press is like on your side, and the party is the House and Senate are run by the same party you are as president. Or you could play like a hard mode where the press don't like you, and the party's not the majority party, and
it's not in favor, right?
It's like you're like, say the Republicans have the House and you're running, you're a Democrat president or something, and they have the Senate too, and you're like, oh man, so it's harder to get things done, right? Uh, just like that, for example.
Are you talking to
Yeah,
yourself?
I'm on a video.
Oh, okay.
Don't you see my camera?
No, I didn't.
So there should be a game like that. You know, would you play already as the president? So many of them are about running and becoming the president. None are actually about being the president, is what I was getting at. So that would be cool. Um, I don't know if they have any of those. If they do have any of those and y'all know about them, comment down below. Some games like that. I guess it would be kind of cool to maybe play a game where you were the legislative body of a government too, or whatever, where you could pass laws. I think there is a game kind of like that, but it's set in the past where it's a game set in the past where you're writing the Constitution and you play as characters who wrote and debated on the Constitution, and y'all get to write your own Constitution. There's some game out there like that, which is historical because they come up with like things that didn't come in the Constitution, but were could have been in there because certain members who were at the Constitutional Convention had their own ideas of things, and if they had gotten their way, we'd had that in our Constitution today. But we don't because they didn't get their way. But maybe it could have happened because that. So this game would be historical too because you'd have all these scenarios from history that really happened, and then you would play a scenario of how you and your friends would have handled it, and then it would be like a scenario, so which would be written in a different way, so that you wouldn't know that it was representing, say, the the Nixon impeachment thing, that Watergate, say that scenario, but it would be written in a different way for a more modern, up to date, thing. And then you'd have that, but then like in the back of the book, after you played the scenario, it'd say, "See what happened in real life" at the bottom of the scenario, and you could go and look in the back of the book and see what really happened. The the president that was under it, what happened, how they handled it, how the press, favored it, and different things, and see the approval ratings, and then compare your approval ratings to to the historical approval ratings, see if you did better or worse than what really happened. That would be cool. Anyway, that's just a little thought I had. So remember, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. And Mom got out too early. She's supposed to get a stab shot. Vitamin B stab shot.
So, I have an appointment at 1 o'clock. So in the meantime, I can go eat somewhere.
Where? Perkins over there?
Yeah.
Anyway, later.
Or I can go to